The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. That's what I get for trying to eat lunch and stream at the same time. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 12th day of February 2024. You've only got 48 hours to get something for your Valentine, if you have one. Today, we begin with the first of three games this week. We'll be with you Wednesday at noon and Thursday at noon. For today, we're doing the Mets and the Reds, finishing up the last weekend of April in 1988. The Mets are 12-7, and they're going to go with Sid Fernandez on the hill today. Danny Jackson gets a call for the 13-7 Reds. They're in first place. The Mets are in second in their respective divisions. And I forgot that Danny Jackson was a 23-game winner in 1988. So you got a good one here today. The Mets and the Reds in the light rain here in Cincinnati. That's enough for me. Let's get to it, shall we? As Retro Sports Network presents the 1988 MLB replay. Today from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, it's the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And why do we not have a picture? We don't have a picture. Can we have that? There we go. All right. So Kevin McReynolds comes into this one with a 13-game hitting streak. Danny Jackson 2-1 on the year with a 1.97, and Sid Fernandez making his fourth start as well. It's a light rain, as we said, as Danny Jackson takes his warm-up tosses. Midlife crisis. I did announce 11:45 start. I have to be off by 1. Danny Jackson almost bested Hershiser in many stats, but you know the whole yeah. And when you break records for that, you tend to win awards. Anyway, Jackson 2-1 on the year, 23-8 in real life, 26 years old, the lefty over from the Royals, fastball at 88 and a standard pitcher. And why are you not showing me graphics? We're just having a heck of a time today. Jackson's last start was April 22nd, a 2-hit shutout of the Braves. He went 9 innings, 128 pitches, 2 hits, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. 32 innings, 27 hits overall, 11 runs, 7 earned, a home run. He's walked 12 and struck out 23. He walked 5 in a loss to the Astros on the 17th. And this is a lineup he'll face. Mookie Wilson leads off for the Mets in center field. With the lefty on the mound, Tim Tuffle will bat second and play second. Keith Hernandez at first will go third. Darryl Strawberry cleans up in right. Kevin McReynolds in his 13-game hitting streak will bat fifth in left field. Gary Carter behind the plate will go sixth. Howard Johnson at third will bat seventh. Kevin Elster at short goes eighth, and Sid Fernandez, not a bad hitter, will bat ninth and be on the mound. Danny Jackson could go the distance. He can throw up to 135 pitches. Defensively for the Reds, Cal Daniels a 4 and a 6 in left. Eric Davis a 10 and a 2 in center. Tracy Jones a 7 and 3 in right. Chris Sabo a 7 at third. Barry Larkin a 7 at short. Dave Concepcion is at second. Wow, he's a 5 there. Nick Kasaski in the lineup, he's a 4 at first. Bo Diaz a 7 and a 6 behind the plate. Jackson is a 7 on the mound with a .954 fielding percentage. Mookie Wilson at .318, no homers, and 3 RBI. He laces this one into left center field. Davis moving over, 1 out. For Timmy Tuffle, who's hitting .161, no homers and 4 RBI. Struck him out. Jackson got him on a 2-2 fastball, got him swinging. 2 out. Just took a gander, John did, at the stats. Had selective memory. Hershiser actually only edged Jackson in many stats. They were essentially neck and neck. For the record, Jackson had a whip of 106.3 in the NL, hit .218 against him. Keith Hernandez at .250, 3 homers and 10 RBI. And Hernandez draws the walk. So a 2-out walk for Darryl Strawberry. Darryl at .270, 6 homers already. He'll hit 39. Let's go Cincy, I'm being told. And 11 RBI. Not a lot of love for the Mets and the A's from this era. Jackson's pitch. Strawberry strikes out. He got him looking on a curveball. So no runs, no hits, and no errors. And half an inning in the books. It's the Mets nothing. Here come the Reds. Let's tell you about Sid Fernandez. El Cid is 26. Throws that hard fastball at 96. And is an extreme fly ball pitcher, making his 4th start of the year. He last pitched 6 days ago against the Cardinals in a 6-1 loss, which he took. 5 innings, 110 pitches, 8 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned. He walked 2 and struck out 6. So overall for Sid, 16 innings, 17 hits, 11 runs, 8 earned. A home run allowed. That came against the Phillies. He has walked 10 and struck out 14. And as the Mets play for the bunt, here's the Red lineup for you. Barry Larkin leads off at short. Chris Sabo at third will bat second. Cal Daniels in left will go third. Eric Davis in center will clean up. Nick Asaski at first will bat fifth. Bo Diaz at 35 behind the plate will go sixth. Tracy Jones in right will bat seventh. Dave Concepcion at 40 years old is playing second base. He'll bat eighth. And Danny Jackson, not a great hitter, will bat ninth. El Cid should throw about 120. And that should give him 8. Defensively for the Mets, McReynolds a 5 and a 9 in left. Mookie Wilson a 6 and a 3 in center. Darryl Strawberry is a 6 and a 7 in right. We'll tell you about Hojo when I can see him. Kevin Elster a 5 at short. Tuffle a 4 at second. Hernandez a 10 at first. Carter an 8 and a 5 behind the plate. And Sid is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Great start for Barry Larkin. This is game 21 for the Reds. Hitting .376, 3 homers, and 10 RBI. He's swinging. And there's a ground ball to Elster. Kevin throws to first. Larkin's running, and he beat it out. Hojo Bauer a 3 at third. Here's Sabo. Chris at 266. A home run and 7 RBI. Larkin stays put. Pitch to Sabo. Might be 2. Johnson only has a play at first, and he may not have a play at all, as Sabo is gonna be out on a bang-banger. Oh, my goodness. I thought he was going to beat it out. So did Sabo. He did not. 1 out for Daniels. Lefty versus lefty. Cal at 284. 4 homers and 15 RBI. What's going on here? We're doing tiddlywinks. On a little bit early. I got to be done by 1. I have a housekeeper coming in, so 11:45 today, noon on Wednesday and Thursday. Pitch to Daniels, and he draws the walk. So first and second for the Reds. 1 out for Eric Davis at 325. Oh, just 1 home run so far, and 13 RBI. El Cid's pitch And he'll walk Davis. So the bases are full. And 1 out for Asaski, hitting .242, 2 homers, and 10 RBI. So El Cid behind the 8 ball here in the first. Asaski fly ball left field. Everyone's going. Back goes McReynolds. Open up the rye and the mustard. That's a grand slam. So have yourself a grand salami. Asaski has hit one. It is his 3rd of the year, his 3rd home run of the year, and he's now driven in 14. And while you watch that, I'm taking a bite of lunch. He got so much plate on that, Asaski just drove it right down the line. Free breakfast at Denny's for sure. How you doing, Big Dave? Caught me with a mouthful of food. So here's Bo Diaz. Bo at .217, 2 homers and 7 RBI. So a great start for the Reds. Pitch to Bo into right center. Wilson moving over. Mookie will make the play, and there's 2 out. For Tracy Jones, hitting .150, 3 for 20 on the year. To third, Howard Johnson's got it. Over to Hernandez. Keith is there, and that's the out. Always Sid's downfall, John says, constantly with a high pitch count and pitching out of trouble, but not today. He threw 30 pitches in the first, and he trails 4-0 after 1 on the Asaski Grand Slam. So McReynolds, Carter, and Johnson, Kevin at .373, a 13-game hitting streak, 2 homers, and 9 RBI. Denny's could hit the spot, Andrew says. We had a Denny's in town, and it closed. Always made me sick when I ate there, too. Pitch to McReynolds. Struck him out. That's 3 for Jackson. A full count fastball inside, 1 away. Brings up Gary Carter at .209, 2 homers and 9 RBI. Carter hits a ground ball to third. Sabo straddles the line, throws to first. 2 out. Remember, Jackson's breakthrough year was 85 in Kansas City, him and Saberhagen, as they would win the World Series. Here's Howard Johnson. Still a handful around, yep, just not up here in Burlington. Hojo, speaking of things that are no longer around, at .266, 3 homers and 16 RBI. And in fact, a lot of those old Howard Johnsons became Denny's. In the left, Daniels in the corner, that's well struck, but will be in the yard and caught, and that will retire the side. Mets go in order. Inning and a half in the books. It's the Reds 4, the Mets nothing. John loved the moons over Miami. I wonder if it's as good as you remember. Again, the one up here was just incredibly greasy. Oh my goodness, was it ever. Dave Concepcion will start the second for Cincinnati with Jackson and Larkin to follow. Dave is 4 for 17 with 2 RBI. That's a .235 batting average. In the right, Strawberry in the corner. 1 out. Danny Jackson, as we said, not a great hitter. 1 for 10 so far. He has a single and 4 strikeouts. And even my bad math will tell you 1 for 10's 100. Got him. First for Sid. A 1-2 curveball. Got him looking. 2 away. So the opening 9 for Fernandez. 38 pitches, an inning and 2/3. The 2 hits, including the grand slam by Asaski. He has walked 2. Control early on has not been good. He's walked 12 and struck out 15 overall. Today it's 2 walks to 1 strikeout. Larkin scored on the grand slam because he singled his first time up. Popped up left side, Elster. And that'll do it. We've played 2. No runs, no hits, no errors this time for the Reds. But they lead the Mets 4-0. And so I'm going to take another bite of food. I mean, you guys are waiting patiently for Kevin Elster anyway. And hitting .262. And the Mets will take that. 2 homers and 5 RBI. Just was one of the last of those no-hit, good, well, average fielding shortstops. Jackson starts the third. Struck him out. That's 4. A 1-2 curve in there at the knee. Strike 3. Scotty says, I had a lot of 2:30 a.m. Denny's visits when I was a bartender. Quality was never an issue. You might as well have just drank in a bottle of Dawn because, like the food at Denny's, it just cuts grease out of the way. Sid Fernandez is 0 for 4. Does have an RBI and a walk. 250 hitter in 88. Struck him out. 5 for Jackson, an 0-2 curve in there for strike 3. So the opening 9 for Danny. 39 pitches, 2 2/3, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Mookie Wilson is 0 for 1. We got a place in town before COVID that would stay open an hour and a half after the bars closed. So they'd be open at 8 in the morning for those of us who are morning people, and they would close at 3:30 in the morning for those who liked the nightlife in town. Pitch to Wilson, and Mookie draws the walk. Just a second base runner for the Mets. There's Tuffle. He struck out in the first. Mookie not a threat to steal. 2 out here in the third. And Tuffle draws the walk. So Jackson, after 2 fast outs, now has first and second. Wilson will score on a base hit. For Keith Hernandez, who's hitting 2... I just walked his first time up because I read you his numbers already. That's what you get when you're trying to stream and eat at the same time. Pitch to Keith. Hernandez draws the walk, and Jackson has loaded him. He's walked 3 straight. A full count changeup just missed low and in. And Jackson has now walked 4 with 2 out here in the third. So here's Darryl Strawberry. Jackson's pitch count has exploded. He's now thrown 57. Strawberry struck out his first time up. Has hit 6 home runs already on the year. Jackson can't nibble. There's a ground ball to third. Sabo's got it and won't get anybody. Wilson scores. Tuffle goes to third. Hernandez to second. And for Sabo, that's his 5th bad play of the year already. And now McReynolds, who is white hot, is now the go-ahead run at the plate. Jackson deals. Into right center. Davis running in, rides a Schwinn, makes the catch to retire the side. The Mets, however, will leave them loaded. They get a run on a hit and no errors. After 2.5 here at Riverfront, it's Cincinnati 4, New York 1. So Jackson now has thrown 64 pitches through 3. Sabo, Daniels, and Davis to face El Cid here in the third. Chris is 0 for 1. What was your go-to, Scotty, at Denny's? Fly ball, left field. McReynolds into left center, 1 out. So here's Cal Daniels. Cal walked and scored on the Asaski Grand Slam in the first. Ground ball to first. Hernandez underhands it to Sid. And that is an out, 2 away. So after the bad first inning, El Cid settles in. Eric Davis walked and scored in the first. There's a fly ball left field. That's well hit. Back goes McReynolds, and that ball is gone. So for Davis, that's his second of the year. And the Reds take a 5-1 lead here on a Friday night in Cincinnati. How you doing, Brett? Mr. Wrestling. Here's the Davis home run. When El Cid finds the plate, he finds it. My goodness. The Reds have 3 hits, and 2 of them are home runs. And here's a Sasky who hit the grand slam in the first. Anything that came with a side of grease. Sasky now has 3 homers and 14 RBI. Into center. Or popped up. Elster move him over by the bag at second, and Kevin will make the catch, and that will do it. However, the Reds get another run on the solo homer by Eric Davis, and after 3 here at Riverfront, it's the Reds 5, the Mets 1. So Carter, Johnson, and Elster to face Jackson here in the 4th. Gary 0 for 1. Struck him out. That's 6 for Jackson. A full count curveball chased. So here's Howard Johnson, who's 0 for 1. And he draws the walk. My goodness. Here's Elster. Kevin struck out his first time up. Hojo has a good chance to steal. And the throw to a Sasky is back. Hojo stays. Elster in the right. Jones comes in a bit, makes the catch, and Howard Johnson's got to go back to first. So the strike zone, I think, for these pitchers are optional today. 2 out for El Cid, who struck out his first time up. So after a very efficient first 9, Jackson has struggled with the strike zone here in the second 9. Pitch to El Cid. Here's a base hit in the right center field. Jones will pick it up. What's Hojo going to do? Is he going to gun it for third? Fernandez will hold with a single. Johnson's on third. Runners on the corners for the Mets. 2 out for Mookie Wilson, who has walked and scored. That came in the 3rd. So Jackson, all sorts of promise for a good outing, kind of going by the wayside. 81 pitches, 18 batters, 3 2/3. 2 hits. He has walked 5 and struck out 6. And Diaz goes to calm his pitcher down. Got him. So it's been interesting. No runs, a hit, no errors, and the Mets have left on 6. After 3.5 here at Riverfront, it's the Reds 5, the Mets 1. How you doing, Mike in the truck? So in the standings, the Mets trail the Pirates by a 1.5. Pittsburgh getting good early. The Dodgers and Reds are now tied for first in the NL West. Scotty can be happy about that. The Indians with a half-game lead over Milwaukee in the American League East. And the Tigers, the Yankees, back down to 500. The Red Sox are off to a horrible start. 7-11. That's not lucky. In the West, Kansas City 2.5 up on Minnesota. Oakland, who is expected to win by a wide margin, trails by 5 games. The Mets are pitching well. They're 3rd in the NL and ERA. And that's about all they're doing well right now. So here's Bo Diaz. He's 0 for 1. Fernandez starts the 4th. With a line drive to Elster, Kevin has it 1 away. for Tracy Jones, who's 0 for 1. Into fly ball in the right center field. Mookie's going back. Will make the catch. 2 out. No gratuitous shots at Taylor Swift here. But I can't promise anything about Shotzi the dog. Here's Concepcion. Dave is 0 for 1. Fernandez winds and fires. And Concepcion draws the 2-out walk. That's the third for Hernandez. Full count fastball missed low and outside. Brings up Danny Jackson, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Reds 5, Mets 1. All 5 homers for the Reds on homers. The Mets just have 2 hits. Struck him out. So Fernandez is through 4, but it's been rough. Tipped in the glove of Gary Carter, and after 4, no runs, no hits, and the Reds finally leave on a runner. They lead 5-1. So Timmy Tuffle, Keith Hernandez, and Darryl Strawberry here in the 5th. Tim is 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. Right back to Danny, over to first, 1 away. So here's Hernandez. Keith has walked twice. Now walked 8 times. He walked 31 times in roughly 400 plate appearances. To second, Concepcion is there, over to Wasaski, 2 out. For Darryl Strawberry, who has singled, struck out, and driven in his 12th run. That came in the 3rd. Popped up, right side, Concepcion on the outfield will make the catch, and the Mets go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home on a 36-degree day here in town, it's the Reds 5, the Mets 1. Where's my hat? Oh. Well, if you joined us late, here's how we got here. A grand slam from Nick Kosaski in the first made it 4-0 Cincinnati. They only have 3 hits, and 2 of them have left the yard. In the 3rd, the Mets got 1 back on a Darryl Strawberry single to score Mookie Wilson. In the bottom of the inning, Eric Davis hit a solo shot, a second of the year, to make it 5-1. I would think so. Concepcion was 40, Andrew. I was stunned to see him play second base. This has not been a pitcher's duel in any way, shape, or form. Fernandez, a 3-hitter through 4, 5 runs all earned. The 2 homers, he's walked 3 and struck out 2. Danny Jackson, gunning for a Cy Young Award, 2-hitter through 5, the 1 run. It was earned, but he's walked 5 and has already thrown 96 pitches. So Fernandez, 18 batters, 70 pitches, 4 innings, 3 hits, the 2 homers, a solo shot from Davis and the grand slam from Asaski. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. Larkin 1 for 2. He singled and scored. Yeah, I would imagine it was the last year for him, and he was the last of the big red machine to play, right? Larkin hits a ground ball to Tuffle. Timmy way in, throws to Hernandez, and Barry's retired, 1 away. Here's Chris Sabo. He is 0 for 2. Fernandez from the wind. Fly ball, right field. Strawberry will make the catch for the out, 2 away. Yeah, Andrew, I would think so too. Rose retired in '86. I think Morgan was doing games on television at this point. I forgot when Perez retired. He played forever as well. Cal Daniels is 0 for 1. It's also walked and scored. Yep, his playing time was finished, John says, once Larkin was called up. Cal, it's a ground ball to Keith Hernandez, who takes it to the bag. And that's that for that. Through 5, Hernandez has settled in nicely, but he's still on the wrong end of a 5-1 score. So McReynolds, Carter, and Hojo to face Danny Jackson here in the 6th. Kevin 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ground ball to Larkin. Barry's got it. Throws to first. Asaski is there for the out. Asaski would go to Boston after this year. Part of that 89 squad, and then would get a terrible case of vertigo. Even Alfred Hitchcock would have cringed. Here's Gary Carter. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Jackson deals. That's in the left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Daniels with a bad hop. Couldn't get a good start, and Carter's in the second for a second double of the year. Only the 3rd hit from the Mets. 1 out in the 6th. Old man Jake the Snake is our latest follower, and he is our 299th here on Twitch. Here's Howard Johnson. He is walked and is 0 for 1. As Danny Jackson is now over 100 pitches, this is not going to be a complete game for him. Line drive, Larkin is there, leaps and makes the catch, and Carter goes back to second. Brings up Elster, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. In the left, Daniels coming in, makes the catch, and we are through 5.5. No runs, a hit. The Mets have left on 7 now, and it's the Reds 5, New York 1. We're flying right now. So Davis, Sasaski, and Diaz to face El Cid here in the 6th. Davis a solo homer in the 3rd, and a walk in the 1st. Ground ball to Elster. Kevin's got it. Throws to Hernandez. And Eric beat it out. So Davis with great speed takes advantage of it. That was not a bad throw by Elster. Not at all. But Davis was just chugging down the line. Only the 4th hit for the Reds. Here's Zasaski. Get that grand slam in the 1st. He's 1 for 2. They go to the plate, and Zasaski strikes out. Only the 3rd for El Cid. 2-2 fastball tipped in the mid of Gary Carter. So here's Bo Diaz. Bo is 0 for 2. There goes Davis. Carter throws down to Tuffle, and Eric has his 7th stolen base of the year. He would steal 35 in real life. He's a guy that you would have thought would have been a perennial 70-80 steal guy. So he's on second. 1 out for Bo. It was a 1-strike count. Fernandez deals, and Diaz draws the walk. So first and second now for Tracy Jones. Tracy is 0 for 2. So how much money, if you did you win yesterday, if you bet? Slow ground ball to Elster. Kevin might not get anybody. It's a snap throw to Hernandez. Jones is running, and he is out on a bang-banger. Oh, Tracy turns and throws the helmet. All for naught. 2 out for Concepcion, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. All right. We're talking about gambling, and John's got to go. Andrew won on the coin flip. So second and 3rd, 2 out. Wednesday, noon Eastern, and Thursday, noon Eastern, John. Concepcion is 0 for 1 with a walk. Runners on second and third here in the sixth. 5-1 Reds. And it's a balk. And Davis is going to score. Diaz goes to third. Davy Johnson has a word or four. And what's this? That's Travis Kelce running out of the dugout, and he bumps the home plate umpire. Picks him up off the dirt and says, shake it off. Shake it off. So an 0-2 count now to Concepcion after the balk. It's now 6-1 Cincinnati. Laced into left, but right at McReynolds, and Kevin was there to make the catch. The Reds get the balked home run on a hit. They've left on 2, and after 6, it's 6-1 Reds. So let's see what the Mets do with El Cid. He's 1 for 2 today, by the way. He has singled and struck out. Lenny Dykstra will pinch hit. You won the $20 you didn't bet. Nice job, Scotty. Good job. Dykstra hasn't had a pinch hit appearance yet. Hitting .304, no homers, a triple, and 3 RBI. Jackson deals. And to right, Jones has to go back, makes the catch. 1 out for Mookie Wilson. So Danny Jackson, 27 batters, 109 pitches, 6 1/3, 3 hits, 5 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Mookie is 0 for 2. Wilson walked and scored in the third, the lone Met run, and is struck out. Ground ball up the middle. Larkin has it on the dirt. It's going to be a late play, and Mookie beats it out. But that's on Larkin. And for Barry, that's his 4th poor play of the year already. So that's the 4th hit for the Reds, or for the Mets, because they both have 4 hits. 1 out, runner on first for Tuffle, who is 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. A lesson learned many years ago on betting boxing. Well, I spent some of my pre-roll on FanDuel, and no, I did not have the Gronk kick right. Pitch to Tuffle. Ball 4. I gotta make a pull here. So 2 on, 1 out. Jackson is due up to lead off the 7th. Keith Hernandez is 0 for 2 with a walk. So, if you remember from last week, I took the Chiefs on the spread, which was 1.5. I took San Francisco on the money line, and I took the over. Gronk missed. Plenty of leg, but it missed well right. Pitch to Hernandez. Infield fly rule is called. Concepcion thanks everyone for the support, makes the catch, and there's 2 out. For Darryl Strawberry, who's 1 for 3, he has singled, struck out, and driven in a run in the 3rd. Just to tell you how smart these bookies are. I mean, obviously I hit the Chiefs because they won. The over-under that I bet on was 47.5. I don't know if 25-22 was a scoreagami, meaning the first time that had ever been the final score of a game. But if the Chiefs had hit that touchdown in the regular season, they would have had to have kicked the extra point, which would have made it 26-22, which meant I would have hit the over. They're shrewd, aren't they? 2 out to Strawberry. Runners on first and second. Fly ball right field. Jones goes back, but that should be playable. It is. Tracy's got it. And it's stretch time. 6-1 Reds. Well, I didn't get that drinking. We'll tell you about Jeff Ennis, who's coming in now for Fernandez. 26 years old. Jeff throws a fastball at 87 and is a ground ball pitcher. He's only pitched twice. He last went 3 days ago against the Braves in a 7-1 win. Went 1 inning, 17 pitches, allowed a hit. So Ennis, 3 innings so far, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and 3 strikeouts. It'll be a pinch hitter for Danny Jackson. Ennis only throws 19 innings in 88. All right, so it's a righty. Who can hit a righty? And the answer is going to be Paul O'Neill. O'Neill does not have a pinch hit. He's hitting .241 overall, 2 homers, and 10 RBI. Red 6-1 here as we start the bottom of the 7th. Ennis a 2 on the mound, can't field. Ground ball to first. Hernandez has it, who can. And there is one very slow out. 1 out for Larkin. Berry 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. I don't know if any of you are in the Cincinnati television area. How's Larkin as an announcer? He does their color now. There's a ground ball to Tuffle. Timmy's got it. Flips it to Hernandez, 2 away. So 2 quick outs for Chris Sabo, who is 0 for 3. Ennis takes a deep breath. It's rained all the way through this, by the way. Now 57 degrees. The wind out to right center at 10. Ground ball left side past the diving Hojo. McReynolds has to go chase it down. Sabo is going for 2, and the throw to Tuffle is not in time, and that's Chris's 6th double of the year. The Goggles, by the way, had 40 doubles in 88. Sabo is pretty fleet of foot. Here's Cal Daniels, who is 0 for 2. He has walked and scored. 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Reds. They have left on just 2. The Mets will run on 4 hits and no errors, and they have left on 9. Ennis deals. Daniels swings. Fly ball, right field. Strawberry going back. Darrell's there, makes the catch. A great catch against the wall. That's Darrell's first of the year. He's made 2 errors out there. How about that? We've played 7. And it's the Reds 6, the Mets 1. So who's coming in to pitch? It's going to be Jose Rio, I believe. It's righty-righty switchy. Don't want to use Franco right now. We will double switch. O'Neill comes in the ball game to play right. He's a 5 and a 7. Rio is a 4 with a .968 fielding percentage. He's in the 7 hole, so he's in here just for 1 inning. He'll face McReynolds. He's 23 years old. He's won all 3 decisions on his dance card here in 88. Fastball at 96 and a standard pitcher. Last pitched against the Expos 3 days ago. 2 innings and a 3-2 loss. 39 pitches. 2 hits and 4 strikeouts. 16 and a third innings for Jose. 19 hits. 6 runs, 5 earned. Gave up a homer to the Giants on the 20th. He has walked 4 and struck out 25. Wow. You were early and they took you. What'd you miss? I haven't missed much. The Mets balked home a run in the 6th. I think you were there for that. Here's McReynolds. Kevin still on that 13-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So Rio essentially in here for 1 inning. Fly ball right field. O'Neill being tested immediately. 1 out for Gary Carter, who is 1 for 3. He has doubled and struck out. Got him. That's 1 for Rio, a 2-2 splitter. in there at the belt, 2 out. Here's Howard Johnson. Howard 0 for 2 with a walk. Rio winds and fires. Struck him out. Good inning for Rio, and that'll do it for the Mets. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th here at Riverfront. 6-1 Cincinnati. So Davis, Asaski, and Diaz to face Ennis here in the 8th. Eric has singled and hit that solo homer in the 3rd. In the 9th for the Mets, it would be Elster, pitcher spot, and Mookie Wilson. Davis in the center field. Mookie has it for the out. If they go 1-2-3, I think that's what I would like to have happen, just because you don't have to worry about what to do with Rio. Here's Asaski. His grand slam in the 1st looms large in a 6-1 game. To 3rd, Johnson's there. Over to Hernandez for the out, and there's 2 away. For Bo Diaz, who is 0 for 2. Mets 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They've left on 9. The Reds 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've left on 3. Jeff Ennis about to finish his 2nd inning of work. Bo 0 for 2 with a walk. Ground ball to Ennis. Hands it over to Hernandez, and the Reds go 1-2-3, and the Mets will face Rio in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th. The Mets need 5 to tie and 6 to go ahead. They're a good team. I'm not sure they're that good of a team, however. Elster is 0 for 3. Kevin is struck out. Pitch from Rio. Base hit left field. How about that? Past Larkin. And so the Mets will pinch hit. Ennis never had that bat in '88. Barry Lyons, the backup catcher, 1 for 6. Does have a pinch hit, so it'll be 1 for 5. Throw to first. Elster back. So Lyons, not Steve, at the plate. Nobody out here in the 9th. The Reds up 6-1. Fly ball, left field. Daniels retreats. Makes the catch. 1 away. Elster back to first. That'll bring up Mookie Wilson. Mookie is 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and struck out, and scored the lone Met run in the 3rd. Not a save situation for Rio. This might be 2 if they hurry. Larkin has it, goes to first. Mookie can still wing it, and he is out on a bang-banger. So last chance saloon. Elster with no speed at 2nd. And 2 out for Timmy Tuffle. I wonder if we'll see Wally Backman here. Tuffle 0 for 2, but he's walked twice and struck out. So Rio 1 out away for the Reds to go 14-7. The Mets, if they lose, will fall to 12-8. And Wally Backman will pinch hit. Does not have a pinch hit, just 3 for 23 on the replay, hitting 130 with an RBI. But Davey Johnson going with the platoon here. Both teams have 5 hits. Rio from the stretch with 2 out. Ground ball to Sabo. He gobbles it up, throws to Asaski. Backman's already yelling. He is out, and the ball game is over. A relatively easy win for the Reds. Led by the grand slam in the 1st from Nick Asaski. So they'll win this one by the score 6-1. So 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Reds. 2 hours and 51 fake minutes. The Reds just left on 3. The Mets a run on 5 hits and no errors, and they left on 10. Danny Jackson goes to 3-1 on the year, 7 innings, 4 hits, a run. He walked 6 and struck out 7, and Rio disallowed a hit and faced 7 batters. Sid Fernandez all over the place, 6 innings, 4 hits, the 2 homers, 6 runs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And Nick Kosasky with his grand slam in the first is going to be your Digital Dice MVP. All right, before we clear out of here, normal time Wednesday and Thursday. The rest of this Friday the 29th, and then Wednesday's our last April stream of the season. The Yankees beat the Rangers 4-3. John Candelaria is 4-1. Charlie Huff falls to 1-4. Ruben Sierra hits his third, 2 for 4 and 2 RBI. Mariners beat the Tigers 3-2. Mark Langston goes to 4-0. Jack Morris falls to 2-4. Chet Lemon 1 for 2, his 5th of the year, and drives in 2. Twins beat the Red Sox 8-7. Keith Atherton 1-0. Lee Smith falls to 1-3. Dwight Evans hits his second, 2 for 3, and drives in 2. Toronto 6-2 over California. Jim Clancy 3-2. Dan Petry 2-3. Lloyd Mosby 2 for 2 and 3 stolen bases. That's pretty good. Houston shuts down Montreal at the Dome 8-6. Dave Smith 2-1. Jeff Parrott 0-1. Glenn Davis, his 5th of the year, goes 3 for 5 and drives in 2. Milwaukee and Cleveland are tied for first now in the American League East. They beat the red-hot Royals 7-3. Birkbeck 1-1. Brett Saberhagen goes to 5-1. And Rob Deere 4 for 4 and drives in 3. Wow. The Orioles beat the White Sox 9-4. Williamson 1-3. McDowell falls to 2-3. Freddie Lynn hits his 4th, 3 for 5, and drives in 4. The Dodgers beat the Cardinals 6-5. Not everyone clap at once. Oral Hershiser goes to 3-1. Peters falls to 0-2. Kirk Gibson 3 for 4, hits his 4th and drives in 2. Andy Hawkins shuts out the Pirates 8-0 in San Diego. He strikes out 5 and goes to 1-1. Brian Fisher falls to 2-1. Alomar 2 for 4. He hits 2 RBI and 2 doubles. And last but not least, Cubs beat the Giants 7-6 in San Francisco. Neil Lancaster goes to 1-1. Poor Scotty Gorels is 0-5. His 5 of their 12 losses. Law 2 for 4, a home run and 2 RBI. Wednesday, tomorrow, Oakland and Cleveland. So that's the game for you tomorrow. Bob Welch and Not Yet at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. It's the A's and the Tribe. My pleasure. It would be helpful. Thursday's game, by the way, will be the Pirates and the Dodgers. Oral Hershiser on the mound for L.A. So Oakland and Cleveland tomorrow, Pirates and the Dodgers on Thursday. And until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you Wednesday for more baseball. Have a good one, everybody. So long.